And talking of the rest of the placements at the campus, so what are the scenes like? What is the domain that most of the students get into? And
Domain wise, like numerically, I think consulting is the biggest hiring
like
sector.
20-25%.
I think more than that. I don't think our report is. Oh wait, I think our report is out. Last year, like I remember my seniors report में तो it was almost 50% consulting. So consulting again, they hire in huge numbers, and the pay package is attractive. So a lot of people go there. Then I think number two pay finance hoga, and then marketing, then Genman.
I see, I see. And what are the kind of factors that might play the spoil sport? Like there are people with poor grades as well, so they're barred from consulting and finance. So
See,
what are the
they're
other?
not barred from it. Like they do
They
apply. See,
might
I
not
know
get.
they
They
might
might
not
not
get it.
get.
See, the thing is that I know some people who didn't have the typical 998 999 CV, but they still managed to get consulting because they had like other impressive things in their CV, like say CFL 3 or something like that. Or if they've worked in a very good place, they've done like really high quality work. So all of that does come into play, but it is
Compensation
generally
counts.
advisable to have high grades.
But the compensation does count at a, what do you call it, a point of time. That's what you have to see. So
The
compensation by some other activity
hmm.
that does play a role at some point
It
of
does
time.
play a role, yeah, yeah. See, if you have like really bad academics, then it's still hard. Like my scores are really bad. Like my scores are 866, right? So there was no, like I could win the Olympics, I could do CFL 3. There's no hope, right? They're not gonna shortlist me. But if it's above a certain level, you still have a
Sort
shot.
of pressure, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. And are there students there who go unplaced at the campus?
No, not in AMCAL, no. Like, see, this year because the market was down, in day three, like at the end of day three, when we were about to close placements, I think there were like 4 or 5 people left. But then even they got placed
Out of
at the end of
480,
it.
4 to 5 people is not a great,
And
it's not a
they didn't go unplaced. So basically, they weren't placed in any of the companies that came to the campus formally for the placement cycle. But then once that thing was over, the placecom made sure that they contacted their own corporate contacts, they contacted profs, and they got them placed.
wow. Was the
So
place really supportive enough?
um
That's
yeah,
a
yes, the placecom
controversial
is. See,
thing.
the place, it depends on the person. Honestly, like it's not in IMCAL, Placecom as an institution is not oppressive as such, right? Like in a lot of colleges, as I've heard that there's very blatant oppression. It's not like that because it's an elected post, right? They're student representatives. They're not selected. So the thing with other colleges that I've heard from is they have like a selection procedure where the old Placecom selects the new Placecom, and like it's full nepotism. And yeah, so that doesn't happen. We have a fair election system where you can get removed if you're
Hmm.
doing some, yeah, like if
There's
if
room for
60%,
malpractice, so you can get removed.
yeah, you can get removed immediately.
Oh.
So like
And is there a
because we
bench
have.
that gets to decide that? Is there a supervising body that gets to decide that?
No, students vote. So
You have
if like
constant referendum.
no, so basically we have general body meeting things. So like where the student body can meet, and they can ask questions to the student representatives. And if at any given point, if the people feel that a particular representative is not doing their job, or they've done some major error, so they remove them. Like there is a form is floated, and I think there's, I've forgotten the exact percentages, but I think if around 20% of the student body says that we want a certain candidate impeached, then the form is floated, and
Just
then
20%.
no, 20% to float the form.
Exactly, but still.
Yeah, and then post that, I think you need like 60% of total student votes to remove the person.
But still, that counts. And do you think to get rid of all of this, should placements be outsourced to a third party institution instead, just like Indian School of Business does?
I think even see, I like the IM Ahmedabad system, right? So they have a placecom, but their job again is mostly preparatory in nature, like preparing the students for placement rather than handling placements. For like their admin handles it. So the problem with the third party is, see, when I joined and when I saw all of this happen, like even my opinion was the same. कि third party होना चाहिए, students को इतनी power क्यों मिल रही है? And I still agree with that. It's too much power for a single student to have, and or whatever,
There's
like
too
10
much workload
students.
as well. Unnecessarily work, so
Work
that he could get rid of
Workload तो चलो, वो तो they're willingly opting for it, right?
signing
So
up.
workload, I have no sympathy for them there. but uh, but there's too much power, right? If you have it in your head, okay, I want to ruin so and so's career, You have the power to do it. So
Exactly.
why would you give that kind of temptation even to to a single student? So so there is that. But the problem with third party is ki there's a lot of sensitive data. Colleges are very sensitive about their placement data, and then there's a lot of chance for leaks. So that's one problem which I think is there. As for admin run placements like the way A has, uh, I think that would be the way out. हालांकि वहां पे people make the allegation कि oh what if people have contacts in the admin and they get some. There are
Understood.
students who are running the place com, उनके साथ contact नहीं होगा तुम्हारा. So
Exactly.
yeah, so like one, and it's a 2 year course, right? So a lot of people have their UG seniors in the senior batch of the MBA program.
Yep,
So
yep.
especially when it comes to engineering colleges where like students apply en masse, like the entire batch is applying for CAT. So wahan pe there's a high chance that you'll find your seniors in the same college. So that way a lot of partiality can happen during
Exactly.
placements. So it is an imperfect system. There should be something done about it, but I don't see anything being done about it anytime soon.
Probably there should be supervisory bodies like I'm Bangalore as a supervising body, of
See, we also have like the chairperson of like we have an organization called CDPO, Career Development and Placement Office, right, which is composed of faculty, which gets switched out every year. Like every year, there's a new chairperson. There's some system that happens there. But again, see, if you have any problem with the placecom, right? So officially, you have the ability to email the chairperson of the placement office. But by the time they respond, placement खत्म हो जाएगा यार. मतलब by the time it is
exactly.
taken care of, so
You
the
already
thing is
told
you
me
have
that the
to.
admin has this habit of sleeping over stuff, so that's possible.
Yeah, like I faced some problems during my summer placements, for example. Like I was banned from 5 interviews. Like I received a ban for 5 interviews, and the justification for that was so basically the penalty was that the first 5 companies that offer me an interview, I'm not allowed to go to. Right. The justification for that was ki there were two incidents. First incident was okay. The first incident is a little funny. We won a case competition, like me and my friends, and the team name in that case competition we had was Consulates, right? So they had a problem with that ki I am Calcutta ki besti ho rahi hai. The company didn't mind, so I still don't get it, but theek hai. That was one issue, and the second issue was that I had low attendance in company PPTs, right? So they took that and then they imposed that punishment. Now, did I deserve it? Probably, maybe it was a little too harsh, but theek hai, fine. Because there were a lot of people who didn't even get 5 shortlists. So, I mean, I think that's too harsh a punishment to give to someone.
But who gets
But
to decide that? Who gets to decide if you're punished with
students,
whatever you?
the place com. So they hold like an internal vote. There's like 10 students. If they reach a majority, they'll levy the punishment.
How do you
And then
act against it?
I can appeal, I can write a mail to the CDPO and all of that. But bhai placement chal raha hai tab. So they already have work to do. They're not gonna respond. By the time they respond, it's gonna be over.
There's again a loophole. This definitely you were at the receiving end. This is a definite loophole then. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, logically, there's nothing immoral with what do you call naming your team as consulates. I mean, doesn't make sense beyond a point, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was
And
stupid on my
missing
part too.
PPTs, that should be stated clearly on the student charter. But okay, you missed 20%. You didn't go for 80% of the pre-placement docs. That should be stated in the charter, right?
See, no, I believe ki if you there should be like a stipulate, like there should be, you should be aware of the exact punishment that will happen with like every exact action, right? So
Yeah.
it becomes too subjective. Like some people who didn't attend, they were given a fine, right? They were given a monetary fine. I didn't attend, so I was given a placement ban. So how do you decide that? So their decision was based on, oh, we think you're not sincere enough. So how do you take that call, right? So generally they have a monetary fine system, which I think is like they do have a thinking. Okay, if you this for this offense you get 2 demerit points, and then for every demerit point you have to pay 500 rupees, blah blah blah. So that makes sense. But then when you start handing out bans and stuff, there's no clarity. Like there's no, it's too subjective, right? And at the end of the day, these are also students, and
Exactly.
a
How do
lot
they
of
can
them.
decide what's disciplinary
Yeah,
action?
plus it's a huge power trip, right? कि okay मैं इसका like I can insult this person in
Risky band
public.
bajao.
हाँ इसकी बैंड बजाऊंगा. That culture is also there. So again, in our college it was less compared to other colleges, but I've heard horror stories from other campuses of things like these happening, especially from the lower IMs, like new IMs. It's horrifying. I don't want to name colleges here, but is
Okay, you
just
can
really
please
really.
cite the story. Like, what is the extreme and that these guys could go
Oh,
through?
dude, there was this one dude who was from, like, he was their best student in terms of CV, right? Like, he had the best CV. He had great grades, and easily the best CV, easily. And then there was and some placecom people got bugged with him. Ki, oh, he thinks he's big. He
Hotshot.
didn't get placed. Yeah, he didn't get placed.
Holy shit.
Plus, the
And
thing there is ki it's not an elected position, right? It's a selected position, so they're not answerable to anyone. Second thing is, uh, so in our college, the verification system is this: ki like whenever you put on a point on your CV, you're supposed to give proof for it, right? If it's internships or work experience, a mail from your manager
yes,
suffices, and whatever. So we have that verification system down,
correct.
and at the end of the day, it is in our hands what point to put and what point not to put. If we can give the verification for it, it'll go on a CV. Like
Then
if I want to put that I won a prize
so
in
more.
debating in seventh class, I can put it. It'll be a stupid move, but I can put it. It's my decision. In the lower IIMs, placecoms have the power to like manipulate which points go on your CV.
Holy shit.
Like they can change the points also. Okay, oh, no, this point doesn't look good. Remove this, even though it's verified. So that kind of power, that's career changing
That's
power.
exploitational.
Yeah, that's expectation. So and they and I mean there's a reason why there's the student, even the students are afraid to complain, right? So I heard these stories through a current like my batchmates in those colleges, and उनका भी यही था कि ठीक है, if you do tell the story, don't name the college, don't name us, भाई there'll be retribution.
But
So
what about that student? मतलब क्या ऐसा क्या किया पीसी वालों ने उसको बैठने ही नहीं दिया शॉर्टलिस्ट होने नहीं दिया और was it something
हाँ,
else?
उसका उसका एप्लीकेशन ही सेंड फॉरवर्ड नहीं कर रहे थे, कुछ कुछ ड्रामा करके कि यार अच्छा दिस इज इनकम्प्लीट, यू डिडंट फिल दिस अप, यू डिडंट डू दैट, एंड देन दैट पर्सन वेंट अनप्लेस्ड, एंड देन इवेंचुअली थ्रू लिंक्डइन he got like an unpaid internship.
Is it really a problem? Is it
Yeah, and
really?
that person, I'd seen that person's CV. Like if he was in Calcutta, he would have gotten he could have gotten MBBK. Like his CV was really good.